You're being controlled right now, this very second. And the worst part, you have no idea. All these years, every search, every click, every quick question you've asked your phone, you thought you were exploring the internet. You weren't. You were being shown what someone else wanted you to see. Fed a diet, kept in a pen. Still don't believe me? Then answer this. Why do you need a VPN to watch certain videos? Stop. Think about that. Not certain videos like illegal content or state secrets, just videos, documentaries, news clips, sports matches, things that exist, that are legal, that are right there, but somehow, magically, you're not allowed to see them unless you pretend to be in another country. Doesn't that seem weird? Doesn't that feel like someone drew a line around you and said, you get this version of reality, not that one? Welcome to the internet you've never seen. Welcome to the simulation you've been living in. And welcome to the moment you finally realize you've never been searching the internet. The internet has been searching you. Every single day, you wake up, grab your phone, and ask Google a question. What's the weather? Who won the game? Is this symptom serious? What's really happening in the world? And you trust, God, do you trust, that the little rectangle in your hand is showing you reality? But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You've never seen the real internet. Not once, not ever. What you've seen is a curated simulation, a controlled hallucination, a billion-dollar magic trick performed so flawlessly that you don't even know you're the audience. Right now, at this very second, there are thousands of websites, articles, and truths that exist. They're out there, floating in the digital ether, but you will never find them. Not because they're hidden in some dark web conspiracy vault, but because Google decided you don't get to see them. 8.5 billion searches a day. 8.5 billion moments where one company, not a government, not a democracy, not you, decides what reality looks like. They don't ban information. They don't need to. They just make sure it never shows up when you're looking for it. Page 57. Page 143. Buried so deep it might as well be on Mars. And here's the part that should make your blood run cold. A federal judge just confirmed it. After years of lawsuits, testimony, and leaked documents, the US government looked at Google and said the words out loud. You're a monopolist. You've rigged the game. You've broken the law. But you probably didn't hear about it. Funny how that works. This isn't about privacy. This isn't about cookies or data. This is about something far more terrifying, the systematic control of human knowledge by a corporation that makes $350 billion a year keeping you inside their cage. You want to know why the internet feels different now? Why everyone seems to see different realities? Why you can't find that article you read last week? Why independent voices keep disappearing? Why every search feels like it's pushing you toward the same 10 websites? You're about to find out. And I promise you, once you see how deep this goes, you'll never look at that search bar the same way again. They've been building this cage for 25 years. It's time someone burned it down. Summer 1995, Stanford University. Larry Page meets Sergey Brin. They argue about everything. Most people would have walked away. But by the following year, these two argumentative nerds would build something that would control how billions of people see reality. Here's what they don't tell you about that story. The internet was broken. Picture 1995. Thousands of new websites appeared daily, and there's no way to find anything. Search engines counted keywords. That's it. You type best pizza, the engine shows you pages with the most matches. People gamed this instantly. Write best pizza 500 times in white text on white background. Invisible to humans, but the search engine counted every one. The internet was drowning in spam. Until Larry Page saw something nobody else saw. He's fascinated by links, and he asks himself, what if we analyzed which pages link to which other pages? Most people would think, who cares about links? But Page understood academic research. The most important papers are the ones that other researchers cite. Citations are votes of confidence. And then it hit him. A hyperlink is just a citation for web pages. When a website links to another, they're saying, this matters. But here's the genius. Not all votes should be equal. A link from a spam site shouldn't count the same as a link from MIT. The value depends on the authority of the site giving it, and authority is determined by how many other authoritative sites link to it. Circular, self-referencing, beautiful. Enter Sergey Brin. They partnered up and started building. By August 1996, they had a working prototype running on borrowed servers crammed into Page's dorm room. It worked. Holy hell, it worked. The results were accurate, relevant, useful. It felt like magic. They called it Google. Their mission, to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. By mid-1998, 10,000 searches per day. They needed money. They met Andy Bechtolsheim at dawn on someone's front porch. Two scruffy grad students with a laptop. Andy tests it. His eyes widen. He walks to his car. They think they've blown it. Andy comes back holding a check for $100,000 made out to Google Inc. One problem, Google Inc. doesn't exist yet. September 4, 1998, Google Inc. was officially born. What made Google different was the philosophy. Just a logo, a search box, 2 buttons. No clutter, no ads. People thought the page was broken. That minimalism was intentional, radical. They weren't trying to keep you on Google, they were trying to get you to information as fast as possible. The growth was explosive. By 2000, over 100 million searches daily. August 2004, they went public. Page and Brin became billionaires. And they had a motto people believed: don't be evil. A promise they'd prioritize users over profits. By 2006, Google had become a verb. Everyone trusted them. But somewhere between don't be evil and building a $350 billion empire, something rotted. First came advertising in 2000. Little text ads, clearly labeled. Seemed fine. Then the ads started looking like regular results. The word ad got smaller. The distinction blurred. Then Google prioritized its own products. Maps appeared first. YouTube dominated. The independent web, personal blogs, niche forums, small publishers, disappeared from page 1, then page 2, then gone. Then came personalization. Different results for different people, based on search history and location. 2 people searching the same thing would see completely different results. Reality fragmented into millions of filter bubbles. By 2015, Google reorganized as a subsidiary of Alphabet Inc. December 2019, Page and Brin stepped down. The idealistic grad students cashed out, leaving behind a machine they no longer controlled. August 5, 2024. A federal judge stated what had become undeniable. Google is a monopolist, and it has acted as one to maintain its monopoly. 277 pages confirming the most powerful information gateway in human history had been rigged from the inside. This isn't about a company going bad. This is about what happens when one entity controls access to information. The question isn't whether Google started with good intentions. The terrifying question is, what happens when the company controlling information access realizes that's worth more than anything on Earth? What happens when organizing information becomes controlling information? What happens when don't be evil quietly disappears from the code of conduct? Which it did in 2018. Look it up. Not the rise of a tech company, the transformation of a tool into a weapon, a library into a prison, a mission into a machine that decides what billions of people are allowed to know, think, and believe. The cage they constructed around you while calling it freedom. So let's talk about the $26 billion handshake that sealed your fate. There's a number in this story that matters more than you realize. Not $280 billion, not $350 billion, $26 billion. That's how much Google pays every single year to companies like Apple, Samsung, and Mozilla for one simple thing: to make sure when you pick up your device, Google is already there, waiting, default, inevitable. Think about the last time you bought a new phone. iPhone, Android, doesn't matter. The first time you opened the browser, what search engine was already set? Google. Did you choose it? No, you didn't choose anything. The choice was made for you before you ever held the device in your hands. In August 2024, a federal judge declared that Google violated antitrust law. The Department of Justice sued them in 2020, claiming they used exclusionary contracts and massive payments to cement their dominance in search. And the judge agreed. Google pays Apple an estimated $20 billion per year, yes, billion with a B, just to remain the default search engine on Safari. They pay Samsung billions more. Mozilla gets roughly 90% of its revenue from Google. Think about that. The company that makes Firefox, supposedly your alternative to Google, is financially dependent on Google. This isn't competition. It's a rigged game where all roads lead to the same place. But here's why this should bother you more than it probably does. Those $26 billion payments aren't just about market share. They're about your data. Every search you make feeds their algorithm. Every click you make trains their machine. Every question you ask builds a more detailed profile of you, your behavior, your desires, your fears, your curiosity. Google isn't just buying market dominance. They're buying information supremacy. They're ensuring that every question you ask flows through their servers, gets analyzed by their AI, gets shaped by their priorities. Courts recently ordered Google to stop making exclusive contracts for Search, Chrome, Assistant, and Gemini, but the damage is done. You've grown up never knowing there were real alternatives, never questioning why every device you've owned leads to the same place. The brilliance and the terror of Google's strategy is that they made themselves invisible to you by becoming universal. You don't think about Google anymore. You just use it, like breathing, like thinking. It's not a choice you make, it's a reflex you've been trained to have. And that's exactly how they want it. Because once they control your reflex, that automatic reach for information, they control something far more valuable than your money. They control what you know, what you think, what you believe is real. The $26 billion handshake isn't a business deal. It's a contract with your reality, and you were never invited to negotiate.
You open Google, type something. In milliseconds, 10 results appear on your screen. You don't scroll past the first page. Why would you? The answers are right there. But here's what you don't see. Google decided those 10 results for you. Out of billions of pages, it chose these. And 75% of people, probably including you, never look past them. The top 3 links capture 75% of all clicks. If you're not in those positions, you don't exist on the internet. So ask yourself, who gets to decide what you see first? Google does. And they're not optimizing for what's true. They're optimizing for what makes them money. You've probably noticed it. Search best smartphones. Before you see any real reviews, ads dominate your screen. Search for health information. Commercial sites rank higher than actual medical research. You scroll, looking for something legitimate, but the algorithm has already decided what catches your attention first. It's designed that way intentionally. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Open an incognito window right now. Search for something political, climate change, economic policy, whatever. Look at the results. Now log into your Google account. Search the exact same thing. Different results. Your browsing history, your location, your previous searches, your predicted beliefs. Google knows all of it. So it shows you a version of the internet tailored to you. Someone else, searching the same words in the same moment, sees something different. Neither of you realizes it. You both think you're looking at the same internet. You're not. This is the architecture of modern information control. It's not crude, it's not obvious, it's just invisible. You're not being forced into a room, you're being shown different movies while everyone thinks they're watching the same film. You get results that keep you engaged, that confirm what you already think, that make you click, and click, and click. Here's the thing, you're not a victim being manipulated by some evil force. That's too simple. You're a person using a tool that was architected by a company whose entire business model depends on your attention. Google makes money when you stay engaged. They make money when you see ads. They make more money when you keep searching, keep clicking, keep scrolling. The algorithm learned that keeping you engaged is more profitable than informing you, so it does that. Not maliciously, just inevitably. You think you're searching for information, and technically you are. but you're searching within a system designed by people whose incentives don't align with truth. They align with revenue. Every ranking is a choice. Every autocomplete suggestion is shaped by what Google's learned about what people like you click on. Every result is part of a system optimized for profit, not enlightenment. And the wildest part? You're not forced to use it, but billions of people do, because it works, because it's convenient, because the alternative, trying to find information without it, feels impossible now. So you keep searching. The algorithm keeps learning. And you keep thinking you're seeing the whole internet when you're really seeing the version Google decided you should see. That's the system you're inside, every single day. So what now? The question isn't whether Google is deliberately trying to destroy truth or manipulate you into believing specific things. It's more fundamental than that. The system itself is broken because the incentives are broken. When the gatekeepers of information profit from engagement rather than accuracy, truth becomes secondary. When billions of people rely on a single company's algorithm to navigate reality, and that company's only obligation is to shareholders, something fundamental gets distorted. Not through conspiracy, through architecture. You can't opt out easily. Google is too embedded. You can't force them to change. They're profitable exactly as they are. But you can stop pretending you're seeing an objective internet. You can recognize the version you're seeing is a version, curated, personalized, profitable. You can search differently, cross-reference, read beyond the first page, seek out sources outside the algorithm's default rankings, use other search engines sometimes. Notice when something feels too convenient, too perfectly aligned with what you already believe. Most importantly, stop assuming what you see is what everyone else sees. It's not. We're all living in slightly different information universes, all created by the same company, all designed to keep us clicking. That's the real darkness, not malice, but indifference. A system that doesn't care if you find truth as long as you stay engaged. Understanding that is the first step to thinking beyond it.